from outside the federal courthouse in Chicago yesterday, where Greg Bavino, a Trump administration immigration official, had to go in front of a judge, and a judge saying, you've got to follow these particular policies, and I want daily reports for the next week. So Bavino's going to have to go back to the federal courthouse to sit with the judge to tell her how the day went. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop with you each and every weekday morning. Be sure to go to thecentersquare.com, get the headlines in your inbox, where you can read the blow-by-blow that Jim Talamonte from the Center Square put together yesterday, being in court for a good chunk of the day. But as you saw there, you had protesters outside as well, as Bavino was walking into the court. So let's get into this, because it's not just the immigration enforcement question and public safety. You've got the Democrats at the State House very concerned about the use of federal officials and how they're going about in Illinois enforcing immigration law. We've had this debate now all year, as President Donald Trump has surged the streets of Chicago with federal immigration officials because, as the Trump administration says, Illinois has migrant sanctuary policies in place that prohibit state and local law enforcement from cooperating with federal immigration enforcement. And you've got story after story, video after video, showing people in some kind of conflict with federal law enforcement, getting up into each other's space. People being thrown to the ground, federal law enforcement having to deploy like tear gas, for instance, to disperse large crowds that are surrounding them while they're trying to enforce federal immigration law. But here in Illinois, you've got Governor J.B. Pritzker, who's been very adamant opposing the Trump administration. And yesterday, he talked about Gregory Bavino being in court to answer questions about alleged abuses of power.
But it's never been like this, where they are breaching people's constitutional rights. And I can name you 4 of the 10 amendments of the Bill of Rights that they are breaching. And indeed, they were in court today, ICE, on this subject. Gregory Bavino, who runs the operation in Chicago, who ran the terrible operation in Los Angeles before, was hauled in before the judge because essentially he's not been following the judge's orders. And he's now being ordered to, all of ICE has been required now to wear body cams, just like local police do. And he himself, who's been part of those actions on the ground, is not wearing a body cam. They also have not produced all the body cam footage that they're supposed to. And if you could see what they are doing, and if you've not gone online to social media to see some of the videos, please do. It is awful. I've never seen anything like this I'm 60 years old. As long as I've paid attention in the world, I've never seen anything like it.
So the governor upset by what he's seeing, and it doesn't really seem to change the Republicans, who are very much opposed to the state's migrant sanctuary policies. Now, over the weekend, horribly tragic news came out of a county official and his wife being killed in southern Illinois. And there was speculation that the driver of the vehicle that led to that death was here illegally, and Republicans at the State House were able to get the documents proving that the driver and the passenger of this vehicle that took the life of a county board member and his wife was here illegally. And they held a news conference yesterday. And Adam Niemerg, state representative from Southern Illinois and Republican, he talked about the state's migrant sanctuary policies and how they're damaging public safety in Illinois.
I wish that, like Pam Bondi said, that the Illinois Democrats, love their state as much as they hate Donald Trump. Then we might actually see change. So no matter what they do, no matter what federal immigration authorities do, no matter how careful they are in these instances, there's still going to be videos by Illinois Democrats trying to put a narrative out there that puts ICE in a bad spot. So ICE is trying to protect Illinois honest citizens and the Illinois Democrats are trying to protect criminal illegal aliens, and that's the end of the story.
And you've got Niemerg with more comments that he made. But as you heard him say there, they're putting together videos, Democrats, to put ICE in a bad light. Well, Border Patrol officials, DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, they as well are putting out videos. Let's go check out what Gregory Bovino had recently posted just a few days ago. Terrorists arrested in Chicago had beef with the law. And he shares pictures of a Mexican national, drug facilitator, being arrested. He also talks about another drug dealer and Latin King gang member dethroned. Operation Midway Blitz, which is the operation in Chicago, picked up this Honduran illegal alien living in Chicago and affiliated with the Latin Kings, a violent gang. You've got others like Tricia McLaughlin, who is the Assistant Secretary of DHS, criticizing the Chicago Tribune reporting on a video, but questioning, are they going to show the violent rioters that were approaching these particular law enforcement? So you've got others, sharing more Homeland Security overhead video of certain instances, and you can see all this yourself at the Department of Homeland Security's Twitter page. But here's Bovino after going to court saying, we refuse to back down from our mission to make America safe. And again, a flashy video with images of Bovino in all kinds of dress, seeming to highlight his stature of sorts. Video is going to be coming out from all over the place on this issue and beyond. But back to the debate at hand, State Representative Lillian Jimenez, who is a Democrat from Chicago, she said, listen, there are serious abuses, she says, alleged abuses that are happening among the streets of Chicago with ICE enforcement of immigration law.
And there have been many times where many of my colleagues have talked about the fear of a tyrannical government and making sure that we uphold the Constitution, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment being the key parts of these things so that we are safe from illegal search and seizure, right? And what we're seeing right now, multiple district courts have spoken that these arrests are warrantless and they violate the Fourth Amendment. And that is what we should be thinking about right now. Yes, we are talking about immigrants because that's who's being targeted. But you have heard time and time again from each one of us. Each one of us has said it is not just immigrants who are being targeted. It is not just people who are undocumented who are being targeted. It's anybody who looks a certain way.
And the question of the Fourth and First Amendment violations include, the issue of people being able to gather in groups and protest, or the right of the free press. And you've also got the Fourth Amendment, the right against unreasonable search and seizure, and the need for a warrant, for instance. So Democrats using all kinds of examples of what they say are abuses and people's rights being taken away. Even if they're here illegally, they say that they still have due process rights. But every case is going to be different, right? Every case is going to have a different status in the immigration courts, and whether or not a criminal detainer order was issued or if a civil detainer order was issued. Regardless, you've got the ongoing questions of how this is all going to pan out as you've got the continued enforcement of immigration law. And just a note, people watching live, a few dropouts, but we do record these segments locally. So if you do have a dropout on the live stream, come back and check out the segment. Also, those who listen to the podcast, each and every weekday morning you get the podcast, but there's also that video component. I had somebody approach yesterday saying they only listened to the podcast. They didn't realize there was a video element, so appreciate everybody who does tune in. But just wanted to get that out there because I did see that the streaming device dropped for just a few seconds there. But back to State Representative Adam Niemerg, again, very critical of the state's migrant sanctuary policies during a news conference yesterday. As Democrats talk about all of the instances they have, video evidence of what they allege is abuses of ICE against the people in Chicago, you've got Niemerg and Republicans highlighting that people are losing their lives at the hands of immigrants in the country illegally, and more from Niemerg.
When you look at the narrative that's being put forth by the governor and the Illinois Democrats, when you look at who's appointed these judges over the years on these immigration hearings and these proceedings, it usually all ends back to either a Biden administration official or a Pritzker administration official that makes these allegations against Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
So he's trying to downplay what some of the district judges have said in these cases. On the House floor, you had State Representative Edgar Gonzalez Jr. Have a point of personal privilege yesterday, and he had some choice words for immigration enforcement officials, again, on the House floor.
Americans have many questions tonight. Americans are asking, who are behind the masks? The evidence we have gathered all points to a collection of loosely coordinated and horribly trained terrorist organization known as ICE. They have descended upon our communities for decades and are the same armed mercenaries charged with terrorizing working class communities in Los Angeles and New York City. But when ICE sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing their problems to us. They're bringing guns, they're bringing tear gas, they're racists, and none, I assume, are good people. But there are those who maintain a glimmer of hope for the salvation of these agents. Moments after I and members of my community were tear gassed by the midget Gregory Bavino and his armed thugs, actions which today they have misconstrued as he presents himself in court, a young man was appealing to the goodwill of an agent right in front of me. He couldn't tell if the agent was looking at him or listening to him, but he told him, "You don't have to do this. Please seek God." But I'm not sure that ICE will find him. Because when you train men to see brown skin as a threat, imagine how they would have treated Jesus Christ. They're too busy worshiping their president that they have forgotten his words, "Whatever you did to the least of these, you did to me." Matthew 25:40.
So Gonzalez using some biblical passages to criticize ICE. He even went further to reference Moses and the parting of the Red Sea and more.
Before Moses parted the Red Sea and delivered the Israelites from the dominion of the Pharaoh, another man who saw himself as a God king, Moses said to the Pharaoh, "Let my people go." If the president can learn anything from Scripture, there are consequences to tyranny. To him, to every agent, to every official, I say the same: let my people go. Thank you.
And the House erupted into applause, but Adam Niemerg, after that was said on the House floor at a news conference, criticized Democrats.
Well, the Democrats call ICE terrorists. Folks, you saw this today on the House floor. Call ICE terrorists, savages, animals, predators, and thugs. Predators and thugs. They coddle and protect criminal illegal aliens who murder honest citizens. Stop the narrative and protect honest, law-abiding citizens. This was preventable. God bless Mike and Gail Clayton.
And he's, again, referencing the two individuals who lost their lives over the weekend in a fatal crash caused by an illegal immigrant who was in the country illegally, who are, by the way, being detained, the suspect in that fatal crash. So one question that I have, of course, we're in veto session. We talked about the tax and fee increases that could come. We've talked about the energy policy that could come. Something else that could come is a measure that Democrats say they're working on to enhance the state's protections for undocumented residents that they call, or illegal aliens, as the federal law would dictate. And I asked if they enhance the Safety Act, if they enhance the Trust Act in the state of Illinois, enhancing migrant sanctuary policies. The current policies in place are why the federal government has surged on the streets as they have. And the images that we see of men in fatigues, carrying guns, sometimes some armored vehicles, trying to enforce immigration law. Are Democrats worried that if they enhance the migrant sanctuary policies, that's just going to mean a doubling down from federal officials, and we'll see more of these types of videos on the ground of Chicago? State Representative Will Guzzardi, Democrat from Chicago, responded to that question I had for him yesterday.
I'm just going to add this really quickly, and then we'll move on to the next question. But just to say, our laws don't impede federal law enforcement from conducting their work. There are laws that guide state and local law enforcement. We want to talk about the Constitution. The federal government doesn't like our laws, so they're going to send troops to our streets to terrorize our citizens until we change them. That's not a kind of bullying that we're going to accept in Illinois. Next question.
All right, so what happens at the end of fall veto session? Your guess is as good as mine, but I guess I'm on the ground, so I'll know before you, and I will let you know as soon as we get the details. Go to thecentersquare.com, sign up today for the newsletter, and wake up with us here each and every weekday morning for more of The Center Square and Illinois in Focus Daily.